Police currently investigating the 7th homicide for the year. Social Services Minister responding to a controversial video circulating on social media, and the DNA does not approve of the appointees for the National COVID-19 Vaccine Committee. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tyler Simonet with your JCN News for this Tuesday, January 19th. A woman believed to be in her early to mid-20s is the country's latest homicide after her body was found on a track road off Marshall Road. Police are now actively investigating the country's 7th homicide for 2021, according to JCN's records. Police Press Liaison Officer Assistant Superintendent Audley Peters, who was on scene to give the details, says that shortly after 4 p.m. yesterday afternoon, officers received reports that the body was found on a vacant property on South Creek Close off Marshall Road. First responding officers arrived on the scene.
They were directed to the northwestern portion of the property, where they found the body of a female lying on the ground with blunt force trauma injuries sustained to the head. Investigators were called in. The initial information is a vehicle was driving through, and as a result, walking onto the property, they discovered the body of the victim.
ASP Peters says the body was in the early stage of rigor mortis, adding that their last report, there was no report of any females reported missing. He also noted that evidence suggested that the building on the property seemed to be a residence that seemed to be partially abandoned, and evidence suggests that someone sleeps in the building. Police are appealing to the members of the public to contact the police if they have any information that may assist with their investigation. He also has this message for the public.
I want to remind the public that our success is really dependent upon our cooperation with members of the community who have found themselves courageous enough to call in the information and we turn that intelligence into evidence and put the persons who we believe to be responsible for these heinous acts before the court. We look forward to consistent prosecution with the assistance of our members of the public.
Peter says that it's a possibility that the matter may have been domestic, as there is a significant information that is leading investigators in a direction that seems to be very promising. The Department of Social Services has launched a full investigation into alleged child abuse at one of the state-run homes here in the capital after a video circulated on social media of children being beaten. Social Services Minister Frankie Campbell confirming a full investigation has been launched. JCN's Laurencia Smith has more on that story.
Social Service and Urban Development Minister Frankie Campbell responding to a video that's making rounds on social media of caregivers who are allegedly to be assigned to the Children Emergency Hostel. In the video shows a child being beaten, which was caught on camera. Minister Campbell told reporters just outside of the Cabinet office that an immediate investigation has been launched.
It was suggested that it was the Children's Emergency Hostel. As a result of that, I caused some preliminary inquiries to be done, and those inquiries suggested to me that it is necessary to launch a full investigation, and so that investigation commences this morning.
Now in the video, one caregiver is holding the child in an aggressive manner, while the other is disciplining the child in an unacceptable fashion. Now, according to the minister, no one has been placed on leave as yet.
The investigation will determine that, and so I don't want to preempt, but I want to assure you that we will leave no stone unturned, and we will let the chips fall where they may, and at the end of the day, as I came forward to you this morning, I will come back and update you as to what has transpired.
The Children Emergency Hostel makes up one of 8 children homes in the country, with about 150 children being cared for in these homes in the capital, Grand Bahama and Cat Island. Minister Campbell also notes that all homes aren't solely ran by the state. However, the minister sends this message on the ministry's stance on abuse.
I want to make it clear that in no way, form, or fashion do we support any form of abuse against children, adults, girls, boys, women. No form of violence or abuse. We do not support it in any way, form, or fashion.
I'm Laurencia Smith for JCN News.
National Chairman of the Democratic National Alliance, Omar Smith, expressing his disappointment over the appointees of the country's COVID-19 vaccine consultative committee. The committee, which was recently announced and appointed by Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, will review and guide the vaccine implementation schedules developed by the Ministry of Health's technical team.
It is disappointing that appointments to the committee did not include key stakeholders within the healthcare industry. This shows the lack of respect and regard for Bahamian professionals in general and the local healthcare community in particular. According to the press release, there are no official representative from the Medical Association, Consultant Physician Staff Association, Doctors Union, Nurses Union, Pharmaceutical Association, and/or the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employees Confederation, among others.
Mr. Smith says that the DNA understands that key stakeholders in healthcare sector were informed about the committee at the same time of the press release and calls it unacceptable.
This is unacceptable and is a public slight against experts who desire to contribute to the decision-making process. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted our nation and our people greatly. It is important that we all work together to fight this virus and contribute towards developing the best solutions for our people. This is a national initiative that impacts all Bahamians with serious consequences if we don't get it right.
The DNA implores the government to rectify this oversight or ill-advised decision as soon as possible. U.S. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris celebrating her Caribbean roots one day before President-elect Joe Biden is set to be sworn in as the 46th President of the United States, and she is set to be sworn in as the first woman and first woman of color Vice President. Mrs. Harris's father, Donald Harris, is a Jamaican-American economist and professor at Stanford University.
The contributions of the Caribbean American community are indeed woven throughout the fabric of our country. And those contributions are reflected in the lives of so many Americans with Caribbean roots, from Eric Holder and Colin Powell to Shirley Chisholm. And I'm proud to be with you as a Vice President-elect with roots in the Caribbean. Thank you for the efforts that so many of you have made over the course of the campaign to get us to this moment. Whether it was participating in virtual events, making phone calls, or Zooming with us, you did the work. You helped lay the groundwork for this historic occasion.
VP-elect Harris contends that because of the public, the United States is on a path to heal and rebuild, but she says it won't be easy.
The road ahead won't be easy. Our nation continues to face challenges, from the coronavirus pandemic to this economic recession, from our climate crisis to a long overdue reckoning with racial injustice, to healing and strengthening the democracy we all cherish. But we are ready to get to work, and we are filled with a sense of purpose. Winning this election was not the end of our work. In very important ways, it was the beginning.
VP-elect Harris says that she looks forward to working with the public to help Caribbean Americans and all Americans to usher in a brighter future. You're watching JCN News. When we return, 3 males are in police custody for alleged possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition, the national COVID-19 numbers, and Minister of Tourism still in talks with the CDC. Stay with us.